Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, and we are back from Star Wars Celebration.
I'm still decompressing. I'm still getting just contemplating what happened.
Yes,
for a week.
And to be honest, I've actually been quite exhausted.
I'm still, exactly.
I don't know why, but
I'm still tired. I'm still like,
gosh. I'm getting old for sure. But no, it was a lot of walking. Yeah, I mean, as it usually is. But I do feel like as we kind of this episode we'll get into a little bit, of course, celebration, a little bit more. Couple things from the news, and then talk about some episode 1 stuff that we had planned for our journey to episode 9. But yeah, getting into some more Star Wars celebration stuff. I do think that the lack of line waiting really caused us to do a lot more walking and a lot more moving around.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see as many panels as I wanted.
Yeah.
Like the whole reservation thing with the app didn't work out so well, so I missed out on a couple panels that way.
Same here.
Missed the cutoff on capacity for those panels, but pretty much saw everything I wanted to see.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get to go into the episode 9 panel, but we got great spots for the live show stage, and I mean,
no, I think
we were all
I think
blown away.
I think we were. If we weren't in the Wind Trust Arena, I think we were at the best spot. To be honest,
I loved it. We got there super early to get our Master Apprentice books, and turn right around and walked a few feet, and there we were, like right in front of the stage.
Yeah, because and I put this out on social, but like StarWars.com released a bunch of images, and they released an image from looked like, I guess, from the food court up there or something like that.
Definitely, yeah.
Down to the crowd in front of the Star Wars show live stage. And I didn't realize, because we were up front, I didn't realize how deep that went.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I
mean, was just every inch.
You couldn't get anywhere.
No, every inch of that floor, literally every inch of that floor was covered. Of people.
Yes.
Shoulder to shoulder, up against the wall.
And I'm sure the vendors even probably stopped and just turned and watched, because everybody was watching the 9 panel. And when the trailer finally hit, truly at the end of the panel, I mean, it was like close to noon.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just awesome. Everybody was silent while it was going on. Then it was cheering at spots. I mean, at first, I think a lot of people missed the Emperor laugh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I heard some people tweet out like, I didn't even hear it because I was so excited, and then they had to watch it again because to see what everybody was talking about.
Sheesh.
But that's what I captioned when I sent it out there was like, this is what it's all about. I mean, this is the whole Star Wars community coming together, sharing that experience.
Well, it's just funny because it's like I don't know, like I can attribute I don't know why, but Independence Day, like we're just like seeing aliens for the first time, like the whole city of people just literally stops what you're doing and just looking up in the sky, like everybody in that floor just stops and looking up, like vendors too, everybody just stops and just pauses what they're doing and looking up at the monitors and the big screens, because it's just we're all on the same page, like no one had seen any of that before, and I mean everybody was just blown away.
It was
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. So, a couple things we can talk about briefly because we weren't there. But did you happen to see the episode 1 panel a little bit?
I caught some of it. Yeah, I caught some of the beginning when Ahmed Best was out talking. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, great,
cool
great standing ovation for him. There wasn't any real surprises.
Right. Yeah, George wasn't there.
No,
he sent the video in. But it was still good.
Still good
to hear from him.
Fortunately, the big 3, I guess, none of them obviously showed up.
Oh, we kind of talked ourselves out of why they would be there anyways, but they're all busy.
Yeah. I thought they would get a video, though. I thought they would send a video.
Yeah.
They did some of them did for the 40th anniversary,
Yeah.
And I think I read an article, I read an interview with Natalie Portman. Mm-hmm. They were asking her about the anniversary and what Star Wars meant to her and how And she answered in, typical celebrity answers, obviously safe. But she did say, Star Wars was that she enjoyed the experience, that it meant a lot to her to be a part of that. She was a little upset that they weren't as received, I mean, even though they made a ton of money.
Yeah.
There's some people that didn't like them, obviously. So she's like, it was a little upsetting, but she is proud to hear, because she's heard lately that it's kind of become a more accepted movie, and people are really turning into are really pulling for it to be part of definitely part of the saga for sure, but definitely part of their collection now. So it's like,
she's got a whole book with her face on it now.
I know. So, I mean, her likeness is her likeness. You know, I mean, it's there'll definitely be more stories with her. I'd be curious to know if she is aware of that. And
but she's got to see in bookstores. Maybe like, that's my face on a book. What the heck?
Yeah.
Or maybe she's getting a check for it. I guess, I don't know, for her likeness.
I'm probably she's probably she would get paid probably the rest of her life from Star Wars, but yeah, no real surprises. They did bring out a lot of the effects team, and I think Doug Chang was there, and John Knoll, and Matthew Wood, and a couple others. So, I mean, 20th anniversary. It's coming up in May, but that was the episode 1 panel. Of course, Ray Park was there, and Ian McDermott, which was pretty cool. I guess the only big surprise announcement was Celebration 2020.
Yeah, that was a big surprise, actually. Yeah,
huge surprise. Right. For the first time in the Celebration history, that it's going to be back-to-back years in the States.
Yeah, crazy.
Which upset, if you've seen Twitter, upset a lot of people overseas, because they were expecting it to come back to Europe somewhere, either Germany or London, probably.
I mean, also, if it's going to be back in the States at a location that's already been at before, why not go back to Orlando? I mean,
I mean, well, this gives you a chance because you've never been to Anaheim.
Never been there, so that would be fun. Yeah.
and to be honest, let's talk about real quick logistics. What do you think about it being in Chicago?
Well, it was. I thought it was fine. Actually, the weather was, besides that Sunday, the weather was great. I mean, it really wasn't cold. Just, of course, it's windy, but it was nice, cool weather. And I mean, being in the middle of the city, we pretty much walked most of the time.
We did.
From our hotel and back, and even when we did take the train, that was fine too. I mean, I love the great food.
Yeah,
and the convention center itself was good. I mean, being on there for only 3-4 days, I feel like I got the lay of the land as towards the end of our stay, but still, some of the times it was a little confusing. But I mean, there's just massive people constantly moving around, so you get lost a little easier. I thought, like the Orlando Convention Center was a little easier to find my way around, but no, it was great place.
I think I felt like the vendor floor was by far bigger than any other one that I've been in, because I felt like in Orlando and even in Anaheim at times, like it was hard to get through people. Yeah. Like there was, like aisles were so packed that it was, I felt like there was a ton of space, even though I'm pretty sure they had a lot, a record amount of people that went there. Yeah. I mean, the convention center is the biggest in the country, so it makes sense that the space was so spread out. I felt like it was pretty easy to get to the concessions and get food. Yeah. And I mean, I didn't make it to the autograph line, but that looked like it was pretty empty. Not empty, but like it looked like it had a lot of space.
Well, what was different is, not quite different, because you couldn't really get in there unless you had a ticket. Like,
true.
In the past, you can at least walk past and see who's around, and I mean, there were some celebrities where you could just walk up to them and say hey and whatnot. But
you had to buy a ticket, right?
Yeah, you had to buy a ticket. But I barely. The only time I was able to actually make it over to the autograph hall area, or even to just the other side of the convention floor, was when I just had a brief moment of time where I could explore the floor. Like I barely had any time to really go look around at anything.
Yeah.
Like the last day, I did a little bit of shopping where I was like 30 minutes. I had to walk around to find some, something to buy. But so huge, you barely can fit it all in a weekend. And with all the stuff that was going on, fit all. Enough time to go around. But it's I like the show floor. The Star Wars show stage, the live show stage was great. I thought that layout of their stage was pretty nice. A lot more screens, great sound. Easier to access it right in the center there.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good.
That was good. Of course, Winchester Arena was huge.
Yeah.
Plenty of seats for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I always said that I liked the setting of Orlando.
Right.
But I did feel like the best run celebration prior to this one was Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
Anaheim, I never actually in Anaheim, what's weird is I never made it. I don't think I made it into, did I? I don't know if I ever went into the arena at Anaheim because I think they had a similar setup where they had like an arena, separated it, arena, and it was like closed half off again like that.
Yeah.
Because when I got in town that morning, the episode 7 panel had already started. And I don't think they had another big one in there. I just went to other panels.
Yeah.
But I will say, this was besides the virtual lines.
Yeah, the app stuff. Yeah.
The app messing up all the time. I felt like it was a pretty well run show. Mm-hmm. I kind of didn't like where the podcast stage was kind of like there's only one way to really get there.
Yeah, as I was saying, it can get lost.
Kind of confusing, bit, where it was. But I think back and I got to think. I don't even know if I went into the Galaxy stage ever.
No, I never went into it.
Yeah,
no.
Me neither. I never saw anything in there. We got lucky enough where besides episode 9, we won our panels.
Yeah,
lotteries for Galaxy's Edge, for Mandalorian.
Right.
So we were there in the, and then of course we got in there for Clone Wars and stuff like that. So we got, like you said, I think I saw everything I wanted to see. A couple things I didn't get to see were some of the publishing panels.
Exactly.
But that's,
I loved the fact of how they dealt with the Winchester Arena, the celebration stage of they didn't clear it out between panels and you can kind of just walk in still or just stay in your seats and move closer if you want. I love that.
I did love that.
I mean, again, we took advantage of that as did a lot of people, and we got great seats for the following panels at celebration stage. So like Jedi Fallen Order and the Clone Wars. I mean, we were right there on the floor, pretty front and center. So it was pretty fun. It was really good. And the Winchester Arena really wasn't a bad seat anyways if you were, like we were up in the kind of the nosebleeds a little bit, but you had to kind of turn sideways. But, it was still
fine. Good
seats.
Screen was big, yeah.
Yeah, and, it was pretty well ran. I didn't really have any issues. The security, you had to go through security every single time you go in and out, or every time you come in, but it was fast and easy.
Yeah, I feel like it was too, yep. Yeah, besides the app, I don't, everything was fine. I feel like we got a lot of free stuff that was cool. They gave away stuff at all the panels, mostly posters. We did get one exclusive item, I felt like, which was the book.
Yes.
It was just great. So overall, I think it was good. I actually am looking forward to Anaheim. I think the best part I remember about Anaheim too, not just the best part of us, of course, Star Wars, but I remember. So I went there with our buddy Chad and Charles. We flew out there and then we met up with our friend Rainey, and we went. And I remember thinking like sitting around and after doing a full day of thing. Now I remember waiting in a lot of lines out in Anaheim because there was a lot of queuing, and there was the episode, or there was the season 2 premiere of
The Clone Wars?
Rebels. No,
Oh.
Rebels.
Oh.
Because that was the first thing about the Vader scene.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And we waited and I remember Lords of the Sith just came out, that book right there.
Yeah.
Because someone in front of us was read the whole thing while we were waiting.
My gosh.
So it was like, because we were in line for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And he read through all the books at the time that was coming out. And he just sat there and just breezed right there. I mean, he was turning pages.
Yeah.
I was like, God, this guy is a fast reader, man.
Was Adam there?
Yeah, exactly, right? So anyway, so I remember waiting in line for about 3 or 4 hours for that. But I remember at some point, thinking, I don't want convention food. Let's go get something to eat. Mm-hmm. And this was the first day, but I remember walking out, and Anaheim has this big, long piece of pavement up to there's a fountain there, and then, of course, the convention center is behind it. But I remember walking out, and on that pavement was just food trucks.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So we went down there and food truck. It was just food trucks there all day, every day. And I was like,
that's pretty smart.
Smart. So I don't even know anybody that would have stayed inside and ate because, I mean, I got like a kosher burger, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible food. Expensive, but incredible. So I remember that the most. I remember thinking we never went hungry. We just went out there and got food every time. But of course it's sunny and the thing about it is they haven't released the dates for Anaheim.
Oh, that's eating me.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's going to be back to kind of what they did in Orlando a couple of times, which was like July, August.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
I can't imagine them doing it less than a year from now. Because if they did it in April, it'd be less than a year from now.
Right.
And that would be, unless they had this fully planned.
Oh,
no,
I don't know. Reed Pop. If it's still Reed Pop, they need that time.
Yeah, I think they do it mid-July, August. Mm-hmm. Which is surprising because you got to think what's going to be the big draw next year because obviously probably the Benioff and Weiss movies will be kind of in production or about to start. You've probably got season 2 of The Mandalorian possibly hitting. You got Cassian probably hitting. Got maybe Clone Wars finishing. It probably finished by then, I'm assuming. But maybe Resistance coming back.
Resistance season 3 probably, yeah.
Maybe more announcements possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, right there, that's enough because you like the big tentpole panels. Yeah, you have the 2 live action shows and the films
and whatever movies. Yeah,
so that's 2-3 days right there. And then,
I'm sure by then, if Clone Wars truly does wrap, I mean, they'll probably have some other animated show ready for Disney Plus coming at some point too. I think so
that would be great. And you'll always have the publishing panels to fill in. I mean, there were a ton of panels. I mean,
there were
panels that I didn't even know of until I heard about it the day of that weekend. So. There'll be plenty. I think there'll be plenty to talk about. When I first heard, I was skeptical, but no, thinking about it, there's still plenty of Star Wars to go around.
And it makes sense because next year is a big year. It's the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
So it makes sense to do it on an anniversary year like that.
Yeah.
So Anaheim. That's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully the dates work out and.
Oh man, if it's towards the end of summer, that would be golden.
Way golden. Great. Yeah. Maybe finally we'll see Rainey again.
Oh yeah,
and maybe we can crash with Rainey's house.
That'd be awesome.
And the beauty of it too. Here's the thing to think about, and I'm sure everybody else has too. But Galaxy's Edge is right down the street.
Very close.
It's right down the street because I remember when we went there one evening. We walked. To Disney Springs, and ate dinner there, and that's Disneyland is right there. So it's like, how brilliant is it that you have Star Wars Celebration right next to a place where you have Galaxy's Edge?
Hopefully by then you could actually go
in
and well,
it'll be over a year open. Hopefully, So
exactly.
that'd be nice.
Great.
Okay, switching gears a little bit. I don't see much news. I don't know if there's any much news out there. I mean, it's everybody's. Celebration was the news.
I will say this: that there are a lot of rumors / potential spoilers floating around the past couple weeks. So if you guys follow Making Star Wars, and they are on it. They have a great source because they're mostly right whenever they do put out an article about something. And they have been pumping out some rumors out there. So I'm to the point where I'm now actually starting to stay away from what they're putting out there just because I don't want to know anymore.
I don't,
So beware, guys. If you follow them on your feed and Twitter or wherever, and their articles will be popping up on your feed there, and it might be something you don't want to read. I've heard one rumor that I've kind of thought that would, in the back of my head, that would be cool if it ever happened. And then just because Making Star Wars put it out there, I'm thinking, oh, well, now it's definitely going to happen just because they are usually right.
Yeah.
So be careful out there. But no, there's nothing official, really, news-wise.
Yeah.
Fallen Order, StarWars.com put out an article with the creators behind Fallen Order, but they're just as vague as they were on the panel. Like, they're really good at not saying anything.
Yeah.
But no, that game is. I'm very excited about that game as well. But no, nothing new. The Dooku Jedi Lost put out an excerpt from their audiobook that comes out next Tuesday.
I do. I actually haven't. I stay away from the excerpts. Really, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I just wait till the.
Yeah.
But we both have started listening to Master and Apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a little further along than me, but it's pretty good. I mean,
I am definitely enjoying it.
Yeah.
I am loving the chemistry between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. There's even a lot of flashbacks with several so far where I'm at with Dooku and Dooku training young Qui-Gon. I love that because that's so enlightening to finally get, and it's just making me even more excited about Dooku the audio drama coming out next week. Because for one, about Dooku, I'm just now more and more thinking about his character, thinking like, how in the world could this guy who's such a great Jedi do a complete 180 and become one of the most evil men in the galaxy? Mm-hmm. And then also thinking hard about Qui-Gon. He's some of his conceptions about the Jedi Order aligns very perfectly with Dooku to an extent.
Yeah.
And Dooku's very torn about certain things with Dooku leaving, and and how he would confront that if he were ever confronted with that with Dooku about why he left. But no, I'm more so thinking like, seeing how different Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are, because that's a big part of the novel, is actually their temperament is quite different. Thinking like, well, Qui-Gon is very much so similar to Anakin, and if Qui-Gon didn't die, he would have been the perfect master for Anakin. I mean, Obi-Wan was great, and he's definitely wise and powerful, but I feel like Qui-Gon would have been the best teacher for Anakin because he would have been able to help him navigate his feelings better and recognize his feelings, and his anger and his emotions. And whereas I feel like maybe Obi-Wan kind of looked past or turned a blind eye to it a little bit. I mean, I don't know. So it raises a lot of good questions for me, and I'm really loving the story.
Yeah, and for me, it brought up the question of the actual title, Master and Apprentice, because I feel like it's, at least as early as I am in the book, but I feel like it's less of a reference to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Right.
But actually, at least I'm feeling like it's more just about Qui-Gon, because he's the master to Obi-Wan, but he was the apprentice to Dooku. Because I feel like there's a lot more Dooku in this book that I anticipated.
Absolutely.
Because there is a, like you said, there is a flashback to when Qui-Gon is the apprentice and younger and learning. I think he's like 10 or something like that.
I'm trying to pick up a lot on the years, on the dates. But I think he's around 10, 12.
Well, and that brings up another thing, is that Dooku, for some reason, and again, it was never canon, but it was never really revealed when he actually left the Order, because you kind of get the sense that he left shortly after Episode 1, like after Qui-Gon died.
Yeah.
But because in Episode 2, when he's talking to, Obi-Wan, I mean, he just basically says, I was once, Qui-Gon's master as he was once yours, and but he would have never, because he says he would have never gone along with the Jedi if he knew the truth, like I have, so it's like Dooku's insinuating, and it comes across in this book a little bit that he's questioning the methods of the Jedi. He truly is, before he even turned. Now that's the question is, did he do it because he had turned, or he walked away because he was truly not, either he left for political reasons, or he left because he truly felt like he wasn't believing in the path of a Jedi.
Right.
And then he got taken advantage of and turned. I don't know. That's all. Maybe we'll find out in his audiobook.
I think we're going to, I'm anticipating all secrets will be told basically with this.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Audio drama, but love it. Love the Qui-Gon stuff. I mean, the Dooku stuff with Qui-Gon. Yeah, I'm trying to pick up on the years. I think in the present storyline, Qui-Gon mentions that he's 40, Obi-Wan is 17, which I actually don't remember how old Obi-Wan is in Phantom Menace. I want to say early 20s, like 21 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
I don't think it's that far. I think it's only a couple of years.
Yeah, this is
it seems
not
like
too much further, not too far away from Phantom Menace.
Because they're talking about the council.
Yeah.
And, of course, Obi-Wan mentions it in Episode 1. He's like, you'd be on the council if you just...
Yeah.
But he made it sound like... In Episode 1, anyway, he made it sound like if you only did what they told you to do, you would be on the council. It's like they're not asking him because he's defying them. But obviously we find out in this that they did ask him. And he's questioning whether or not to join. Right? So
we'll see what happens.
And it's interesting, Yoda's thoughts, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yoda was like, I didn't want you. I don't want you on there.
Yeah, they did. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
They voted for it. But
and I gotta say, I think Jonathan Davis is voicing the narration.
Yeah.
He does a great Qui-Gon.
He does.
Obi-Wan, man. He actually is really good.
He picks up on their cadence pretty well. Yeah,
yeah.
It's pretty good. I like it. So this is several years before Phantom Menace. Yeah, and it's just so fun and interesting to see Obi-Wan's training and how he's not quite the wise old man that we know him to be. Like, he's very much, he actually does have some similarities to Anakin. He's just very young. He gets emotional. He gets angry, but he's still very much a Boy Scout. He follows the rules.
But he always does. Yeah, he always does revert back to his training. Though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
that's great. I love this chemistry. I kind of wish this would almost become a series of books where it's different Master Apprentices. That's what I was kind of thinking of before I started reading. Like, it'd be cool if we got a book with Qui-Gon and Dooku, but maybe we'll get that now finally with Jedi Lost. But it'd be great to get more with these in this era. I love it.
Yeah.
I love this
so
era.
According to Wikipedia. It says that Master and Apprentice is set roughly 7 years before the Phantom Menace. So he's about 24 in the Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan. So
interesting. 7 years.
I didn't think it was that long. I thought it was maybe 3 or 4, but timeline 39 BBY.
Okay.
So
yeah, and it's so interesting because in you can say the crawl in a sense for this book, it mentions that there isn't a lot of conflict in the galaxy right now. Not a lot of, I think they say, like, shadows that kind of darken the galaxy in a way. So it really is, for all intents and purposes, a time of peace. You're dealing mainly with pirates and cartels and just little kind of contained uprisings or revolutions when it pertains to a specific government on a specific planet or system, such as kind of the case with this storyline. So this isn't like a big... so far that I've reread, it doesn't really have any crazy ties to Darth Sidious or, Empire kind of thing. Thankfully, this is a nice, contained storyline.
There's no threat yet from a Sith yet.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So, but I love.
So this being 7 years, that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm pretty sure Dooku hasn't turned yet.
Probably not.
You know what I mean? Like I think
so far as we've heard the character saying that he's on Sereno. He's a Duke on Sereno. That's basically it. They haven't
which
heard
is his homeworld.
Yeah.
But again, like we'll find out probably.
Exactly.
But like this is what we were talking about before though. Like this storyline with a master and apprentice. Now it doesn't have to be Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But this is a TV series.
Oh yes.
Right?
Yes, I love it.
I mean,
I want that.
Yes, 2 Jedi going out fighting cartels or underworlds, and I mean you could film that easy, man.
Come on. But there's some surprising parts about the story. We learn a little bit about Qui-Gon. This isn't really a spoiler, but Qui-Gon loves old relics and prophecies.
Yes,
I mean, kind of knew that because he's such a big study of the Chosen One prophecy, from Phantom Menace. So it goes a little bit more about that, and so much that he kind of like Dooku was also very much into this teachings as well. But there's just a couple moments where they list off a few prophecies that pretty sure they're just kind of teasing Rise of Skywalker a little bit. Obi-Wan lists off a few prophecies because he doesn't like the prophecies. He thinks they're kind of ridiculous in a way, that they're too vague. They can be applied to anything and misread in a way. So, he does say one that if you're listening, and it's so funny that they timed it so well that this book released after the trailer from Rise of Skywalker because it's fresh in my mind. And as soon as I hear that there's one specific prophecy that Obi-Wan talks of, that I'm thinking, well, that could totally be Rise of Skywalker plot line right there. So it's pretty fun. I hope we get more of that kind of stuff because I love hearing about that kind of mythology.
Yeah, because it did make me think, because again, I didn't really know the exact timeline, and I felt like if it was only a couple years, it would kind of make sense that he's so wrapped up in these prophecies that when he finally comes across Anakin, it's like he wants to believe that this is. But being 7 years, it's kind of back of mind maybe that, okay, I know these prophecies, but I don't really expect them to actually happen.
Yeah.
And then when it does happen, it's like, wow, okay, I know this. I know this story. I've read this prophecy of one to be born of the Force, so...
No, it's pretty cool.
It's true, like you said. This prophecy thing is and that's a good tie into where I want to go with this. The rest of this episode is now that we've seen the trailer and we've done a couple shows already. Our show at Celebration Podcast Stage, and then of course our on the road back. We briefly talked about it a little bit more. But, I've watched the trailer. Hell, I got it up on my computer right there. I was watching it earlier tonight. I've watched it several times. You've watched it several times. 20th anniversary, episode 1. We're starting our journey this year, the rest of this year, to episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now that we've seen something, now that we know the title, I think part of our journey now is going to be, okay, well, if this is the end of the saga, because I think we're both in agreement that somehow this movie has to not only complete the current trilogy, but complete the entire 9 movie series, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about how we think, what elements of episode 1 do we think will reach into episode 9, or what parts is JJ? Obviously, the obvious one is the Emperor.
Palpatine. Yeah,
but what else do you think? Is there any way Jar Jar shows up?
Oh,
episode 9?
Wow.
I don't know. Or is there?
Oh, he would do that. As like an Easter egg. He would totally put a Gungan or something in there. Just doing.
We know he's alive.
Like
after,
a street performing.
Yeah, we know he's alive through Aftermath.
That'd be so awesome.
That would be awesome. I think people would be okay with that.
People love it now. Yeah. So a big one for me, and it's kind of hitting me now because we literally just talked about it. And the Chosen One prophecy. I think. I mean, the whole thing, the whole story, which is why one reason why I'm so it makes sense that the Emperor is part of this, because it started with Palpatine and Anakin, and it's fitting that it should end with Palpatine and Anakin.
Yeah.
Just in the sense that Palpatine, as JJ calls it, the greatest evil. And he kickstarts this plan, which leads to the Empire, which leads to the First Order. It's all because of him. So it's, it makes sense that this would be his final scheme to rule the galaxy, to get what he wants. And Anakin is the chosen one, and so as the prophecy says, and he's supposed to bring balance. And so I think this is what it's all about, is balance, and it's clearly not balanced right now. And, it's up to the chosen one to make it right again. And so is that going to be Anakin? Is he going to come back in some fashion to save the day, or Anakin through Rey, or is it Rey or Ben Solo? So it's, the whole idea of the chosen one and balance, to me, is the perfect way to tie it all together.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time. I have a hard time thinking that this movie happens without Anakin somehow.
Right.
I know we hear Luke's voice. I think Anakin, if they did bring, hopefully Hayden Christensen back, if they do bring him back, I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can keep that a secret.
Yeah.
Until the movie comes out. I don't know if in the next trailer that you hint at that or you market that, because I feel like if you market that, I feel like you get everybody on board. Like I just think everybody would, especially as the prequels have become a little bit more popular. I mean, there's no doubt they've become more popular because. Especially, the generation that is your age grew up with that, and they're the ones kind of championing that those three films, because again, that's what you grew up with. That's what made you get into Star Wars. Not necessarily you for sure, but I'm talking about the people that saw that at 5. When they were 5 and seeing Episode 1, it's like that's what made them love Star Wars. And because I've seen a lot of tweets just in the past couple of weeks how my Star Wars, I started it with the prequels. Like that's what got me into Star Wars. So, JJ, it'd be very, obviously very smart of him to incorporate pieces from the prequels. Because, obviously you can make the argument that, the Emperor is actually from the original trilogy, but he is from the prequels. And he started this whole thing, back in 32 BBY, before when everything thought, like we just said, everything felt like it was at peace, and but there wasn't apparently a balance. There was something was wrong. The dark side was still there. He is like you said, the ultimate evil, which is again strange to think, because I think growing up, especially growing up with the original trilogy, like there was nothing more evil than Darth Vader.
Right.
Like he was the evil, like in those movies, and like of course he got redeemed, but you never really knew. You don't really get a sense of the Emperor's power. In the original trilogy, I mean, he's only in one movie really, and it doesn't. There's never that. I don't know. You never have that fear factor because you never see him do anything, right? You never see him electrocute. Vader was choking his own guys, killing his own officers. And the Emperor never did that. The Emperor never showed his power, really. You know, so you feared Vader. So it's not until you get to the prequels when you see him take out 4 Jedi, basically, or 3 Jedi, I guess, and then help with Anakin to get Mace. But it's like, but he's, and then he tells Vader to wipe out the Jedi, wipe out younglings, wipe out the Separatists. It's like, this guy's pretty evil.
And the Clone Wars animated show even unpacked that more. We saw more Sidious
that's right.
fighting and doing and just being menacing.
Yeah.
So it's no, definitely. He even the books now. It's kind of more so corroborating the fact that Emperor is always in hiding, or not in hiding, but he's always kind of isolated from the general public.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But in the scenes like Thrawn alliances, or even the first Thrawn, I guess, and even Lords of the Sith, it's just when he's present, it does, like the fact that he is so quiet and slow to react, like he's always scheming about something, like that is the scary part of him, where you just know you feel like he knows everything, you feel like he's always got a plan, and you're afraid to make him mad because of what he could do. Whereas Vader, it's like, Vader's going to kill you. Vader's going to choke you. Vader will throw his lightsaber at you. Like he's such more of an active villain, whereas Palpatine is much more of a passive villain, I guess you can say, but still very much threatening.
That's a good point, because in those novels, the Palpatine still is known as that's what's weird. He's called the Emperor, but he's known as a political figure. Yeah. Like there's a lot of people in the galaxy at this point, through the original trilogy, I feel like that. I mean, they just think he's the ultimate leader. Mm-hmm. Like he was wronged. Like the Jedi, betrayed him. And no, you know what? You saw us through this dark time. Mm-hmm. You are the Chancellor forever. And if you want to call yourself the Emperor, that's fine. Yeah. But he's not like he's not ruling by killing everybody. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that happened in the galaxy that maybe, the stormtroopers or the Empire kind of moves planet to planet, just, sometimes gathering resources or making people do things. But on Coruscant, I feel like no one on Coruscant feels like they're under like the iron fist of the Emperor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was because as like Iden Versio said, like the rebels are terrorists.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like the view of the rebels, they're the ones killing people and blowing things up, and it's like when at that point of view, it's like, wow.
Well, I started the Leia novel before Master Apprentice came out, so I kind of switched gears. But starting the Leia novel, Leia comes into contact with
the Claudia Gray one.
Yeah. So she comes into contact with basically an aftermath of a rebel skirmish where they attacked this medical base or of this like imperial outpost or whatever, and she's kind of frightened because these rebels just did that, and then she's kind of scolded by her parents, being like, obviously covering it. It's like we don't want to be associated with that and those terrorists, and we don't want to be affiliated with criminals in a sense. But of course, they're just telling Leia that. But still, it's that thought that these guys are just a pack of outlaws, going around causing all kinds of chaos in what the Empire has created, which is, and again, for all intents and purposes, peace. Like there's order, but it's just kind of as you go further out of the galaxy, it's more of that tyrannical enslavement and stripping planets of the resources to the extent of genocide. Even that's just so they can have that everlasting peace. That's obviously where it goes wrong.
And I feel like the Death Star, because it took 19 years for the thing to get built. The first one, and of course, as we know, Galen Erso was the major cause of that. But I mean, it was this rule by fear mentality, but they didn't have anything to really utilize that, to carry out that fear, because the Death Star wasn't operational yet. Now that they had the Death Star, of course, planets would be like, okay, we'll do whatever you want, don't blow us up. But the rebels took care of that, and obviously they're, as you see in the original trilogy, I mean, the rebellion grows and keeps growing, and to the point where they are, in fact, able to take back the galaxy. But as we see, with the new trilogy and especially now with 9, yes, the Emperor Palpatine somehow has influenced what is happening in this trilogy, because there's no mention of it whatsoever in 7
right,
and in 8, except that one mention of Sidious, but that's not even in the same context.
Yeah, right.
So it is a bit surprising. I mean, I think there was rumors about it, but again, we don't know how we truly don't know the extent of it. How much is it really, or is it really just? I mean, it could be just a brief thing. I don't know. I don't know. Until we see more footage, I guess. I just don't know.
One thing I've heard, and this is only in hearing and passing, I didn't actually go out and find the source of it, but I heard that Palpatine was the plan from the beginning of the sequel trilogy, which makes me so much more excited that they actually thought it through. But yeah, some people are kind of, I think, tempering their hopes and saying like, oh, it's just he's going to be mentioned, or he's just going to be.
But he was on set,
part of it. He was, yeah. And then, I mean, come on, people. Yeah, he's in it.
He is in it.
Let's be honest. He is. And if you saw the Phantom Menace panel, and they talked to Ian McDermott about it, he's being so cheeky about it. But it's like he knows that how much he's playing with us, and being like, oh, maybe he's dead. Maybe that's it.
No, George said he's dead.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi is like the last we'll see him. Maybe so he's being very coy with it. And no, he's in it. He's a 9. Come on.
Yeah,
I just stopped by for a laugh. That's, for the trailer. So it's like he's totally playing with us. The Emperor is playing with us.
Now, I heard a rumor, and maybe it was this. Oh, I don't know if you want me to mention.
Oh,
this.
I don't care.
But I think this is this. I think this is the Star Wars news that they were talking about.
I mean, spoilers, people, but I'm fine. You could say it on the show, but just people listening.
Yeah,
spoilers, possibly.
So possible rumor, and maybe this is what you heard.
Maybe, yeah.
But that there is an appearance of Han Solo in this movie. Okay, okay,
that's what I heard. So,
yeah, as a flashback.
I mean, the thing that I heard, because I stopped reading, was like, what does it say? Like, Palpatine's not the only one to get resurrected, or something like that. Not the only one to come back.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's Han Solo was the one that they're alluding to, and they got just making Star Wars guys got slammed with criticism from fans about that, like saying like. Like saying essentially they're putting that spoiler in the title of their articles, and fans coming to them and be like, you're not supposed to do that. That's big spoiler. So again, if you guys are following them, and if you don't want to hear it, just don't follow them anymore.
Yeah.
Look away. Just or at least put a pause on and go social media black for the next 8 months, because it's going to keep coming. I'm surprised we're getting spoilers and leaks like this early. Usually, obviously, it comes as a movie closer to the movie comes out, but
yeah.
No, it's happening now. So be careful out there, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I don't think. Besides the prophecy, which, again, like you said, is a very good point, because that is the. I mean, this whole this is the Skywalker saga. So the original Skywalker. I mean, technically, you're Shmi, but it's Anakin that starts the journey in episode 1. And so this prophecy, I think, has to get brought up. I think, that line in the trailer where Luke is telling Rey, we've passed on all that we know, and he keeps saying we.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got the other guys next to him, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 1,000 generations. Was it a Jet lives in you now?
Yeah.
Kind of
I mean, but I feel like Yoda's there. I feel like Obi-Wan's got to be there. I feel like Obi-Wan's got to be there. I feel like Anakin's got to be there. I mean, I feel like could Qui-Gon be there?
Oh man, yeah.
I don't. It's like, I mean, you don't even need Liam Neeson to be there. You can digitally make him
exactly. Because I would love it if they brought attention to that, because the only reason those other guys are able to exist in that form in the Force is because of Qui-Gon.
Exactly.
So you recognize, kind of thing. It's like, it's these people. It's all important. Like all the stuff that happened in the prequels. I mean,
surely, Luke's got to be a Force ghost, obviously. So he had to have learned it also. But, I think that's that is the way you tie. You at least harpen back to episode 1 is the prophecy is somehow is Qui-Gon. I mean, I don't know if you just mentioned him or not, but I mean, I don't know if because he's, as we find out in this book, it's like he's the one that, I mean, if he never brought up the prophecy, Anakin would have never been, just never would have been discovered, so.
I can totally see a scene purely of just information and exposition to get everybody caught up as Rey's talking with Luke, and he's kind of briefing her about all this legacy. Like there was the chosen one of the prophecy, literally just telling her, recapping of the prequels in the original trilogy, and then Obi-Wan coming in talking about how he thought Luke was the chosen one, but it's really Anakin and all this stuff. And then like Rey asks a question about the chosen one prophecy, and like, oh wait, this guy knows more about it than any of us. Then Qui-Gon pops in. It's like they all kind of just like tag team, give her information. Like something like that would be pretty sweet. But yeah, having them all there would just make sense, and the perfect way to tie it all together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be. It would be. Yeah, I don't know any other ways besides, like Jar Jar showing up.
Like they just need to do some. There's like marketplace scenes, I think I've heard. So you just throw Gungan in there and post in the background doing like some street performing thing. So, that's Jar Jar.
Yeah,
or like a sign. They walk past like a sign that's like Jar Jar's like store, like something like that.
Right.
So it's just his name. It's not actually him. But like his name is there.
Or go back to Naboo and see a statue with him.
Oh,
there or something. I don't know. I don't know. I think the chosen one's just until I see anything different, I gotta go with the chosen one being still kind of this theme. Now whether or not I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure about the whole rise of Skywalker. Like I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yet, I'm not ready to make a prediction on what I feel like is that's referring to.
I just keep thinking it's everything. First everything.
Yeah, it's got to be
the rise of the chosen one, the rise of Skywalker. I don't know, the rise of new Skywalkers.
I think I am off though. I think I am off Rey being a chosen one.
Yeah,
like I know that's been a rumor since episode 7.
Right,
but I don't think she's the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not she's a Skywalker, I don't know yet. Again, I'm still leaning towards, like I said a couple episodes ago, is that she could inherit the Skywalker name.
Right, yeah.
But I have a hard time believing she's a Skywalker right now.
Mm-hmm.
So is Rise of Skywalker that, or is it the return of Anakin? I don't. I don't know. It's gonna be tough because I just don't know how much we're gonna get because JJ. I mean, it's the first time we saw anything of this. We're only 8 months away from the almost 7.5 now. It's like I don't know how much more we're gonna see.
I mean, Comic-Con, I think it's been announced. We'll have some stuff with Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
so I would say we probably won't get anything until July. I mean, they got to do at least 1 or 2 more trailers.
I think it's maybe a behind the scenes thing, and then there's another trailer. Yeah, so that's it.
We'll probably get that and
because I think he's gonna try to keep as much under wraps as possible.
Yeah,
and then just blow us away and hopefully like Endgame, it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
because I would totally
be
down with that. All right, so we'll continue that. We got more episode 1 to talk about here as we continue our journey to 9, and there's just all kinds of stuff to talk about now with what's coming. Just to recap, Mandalorian drops November 12th when Disney Plus drops, becomes available. Disney Plus being $6.99 a month or $69.99 for the year. I don't think there's no pre-orders yet on that or anything, but as soon as they start taking payments, I'm sure everybody start paying for that. Mm-hmm. But again, November 12th, you will get Disney Plus, you will get The Mandalorian. Now, they still haven't said whether or not you're getting every episode yet, or they're going to slowly roll them out. I have a feeling they're going to slowly roll it out, like a weekly series. Mm-hmm. I have that feeling that they're going to do that. It seems like the announcement. It seems like what I don't like to hear is that it doesn't seem like Clone Wars is going to be ready on the launch, but we weren't told either way. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Jedi Fallen Order drops 3 days later, November 15th.
Right.
On pretty much every platform. Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Unfortunately, I read that it's not coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
And then, of course, December 20th, which I think is a date that kind of hasn't been advertised that much, but December 20th is when Episode 9 comes out.
I didn't even know. I didn't bother to look it up, but I didn't know.
It is releasing Friday, December 20th.
Cool.
Which is Sam's 10th birthday.
Wow.
So... Those are kind of the major announcements. I think October 7th, I think, is when Resistance Season 2 premieres back on Disney Disney Channel. I don't know the exact day. I can get that next time. But, and then, of course, you got all kinds of novels coming. Alphabet Squadron is coming.
Yeah.
Thrawn Treason is coming. Black Spire is coming. So you got a lot of stuff. Of course, Galaxy's Edge is opening in May in Disneyland, August 29th in Disney World. I mean, it's just crazy. Star Wars, big year. And of course, you got your weekly comics hitting your stores. So, which I'm actually getting caught up on some of that stuff. I read, I got caught up on some of the on Star Wars. I read Vader a little while ago. What else did I get? I got caught up on something else.
The Age of Republic.
The Age series. I read Age of Rebellion. I'm sorry, Age of Republic. Mm-hmm. I'm doing Age of Rebellion right now with the ones that came out, Leia and Tarkin. And then that was announced at Celebration what the Age of Resistance was going to be. There was a Finn comic, a Phasma comic, Rey. They all got their own, so... Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Hope everybody, if you made it to Celebration, hope you had a good time. Again, I will always say, if you haven't been to Celebration, you got to make your way there. It was such a great weekend. Good to get away and just get engulfed in Star Wars. And, I think the big takeaway, too, was that, for me in a way, was that, yes, there is a lot of negativity out there. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot more positivity.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows at Celebration. I think a lot of people were anticipating, there's not going to be as many people there. Man, it was crazy packed. It was the same energy, if not better.
Oh, definitely better. Yeah, just felt like a great unified community. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We will see you next week for Casey Cooley.
He is the chosen one. He will bring balance. Train him. Qui-Gon said it. He meant it.
Council Yeah.
People need to listen to him. I tell you what.
He seems pretty wise.
He's very wise. Sure. Like, the Council didn't listen to him about Anakin. Yoda didn't listen to him. And then after all the what he did for Yoda about becoming one with the Force. It's pioneer,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He must come back.
Thanks, everybody. InsideTheForce.com. Check us out there. We will talk to you guys next week. For Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.